All right, how's it going? What I've got in front of me here is I've got two sleeping bags here that are very, very similar. They're almost exactly the same weight, same length, same temperature rating, same everything. I'm going to explain kind of the difference between the two. I've just got the Western Mountaineering Ultra Lightweight 20 here. It's awesome. It weighs 2 pounds and it's rated for 20 degrees. It's 7 feet long, more or less about 7 feet long. They say in the description that it's 6.5 feet. But when I measure it, it comes out to about exactly the same length as this one. This is the Mountain Hardwear Phantom 15. This one weighs 1 kilogram, which is 3 ounces heavier than 2 pounds. And it's the exact same weight, it's the exact same length as the Western Mountaineering. And it's described as 7 feet. Now there's a lot of, there's actually quite a few differences between the two sleeping bags that kind of sets them apart and kind of causes the Western Mountaineering UL20 to pull ahead as far as bells and whistles and what these two sleeping bags are capable of doing. They're both hot sleeping bags, okay? But with the Mountain Hardwear, it's got a really narrow profile. This mummy is trimmed really narrow, and that kind of causes it to be kind of hot. It's also 7 feet long, and you can really feel the extra length in the foot box. So you can really kind of submerge yourself down into the sleeping bag. It's just that there just simply isn't enough wiggle room around the shoulders, and you kind of get trapped in here and it's kind of hot. Also, you know, it's got this zipper system with this bulky zipper and that works good, but it doesn't offer a lot of creative concepts as far as how to ventilate and get some of that heat to come out and how to give yourself a little bit more wiggle room. And that's kind of what you get with the UL20 from Western Mountaineering. So if I take a look at this one, the Western Mountaineering bag has a few advantages to it. First of all, it's made out of this really silky material, so there's kind of an emphasis on comfort. It's a really silky, comfortable nylon. It also has a lot of down in it, and it kind of has a pillowy, kind of fluffy feel to it. The hood has got a lot of down in the back of the hood, kind of creating like a pillow. And it also has this draft collar, which is mostly on the back of your neck, and that kind of contributes to the pillow kind of feel to it. However, on the front of the hood, you don't really have as much down, and when you cinch this shut, you can actually feel this cordage against your forehead. So there's just not as much down on the front of the hood, and that allows an opportunity for a lot of the heat that gets trapped in here to escape and kind of come out. So which gives it a little bit of versatility. It's not a straight up snow winter sleeping bag. This is kind of more of a 3-season option where if the weather gets a little bit warmer, you can try to get creative and find a way to get comfortable in here, even though it's kind of hot. But if there is a cold snap and it gets cold, you have the comfort of knowing you can get really comfortable and cozy and warm in here. Now the tailoring of this bag, the UL20, it gives you plenty of wiggle room in your feet and plenty of wiggle room in your shoulders, but it does get a little bit tight at the hips. And that's kind of where a lot of the heat comes from. In the middle of the night, you get kind of hot in here because your belly and your elbows kind of create like, they get flush with the sleeping bag. You don't have a lot of wiggle room, and the heat kind of builds up. But again, the hood cinches shut in such a way that the draft collar, there isn't as much of a draft collar on the front of your neck as there is on the back. And that allows for a lot of the heat to come out. Okay, so also in hot conditions where you don't want to be as hot in here, you can take this Velcro right here at the corner and attach it to the hood right here. And then that attaches really tight. It's almost hooked on there. Then you can open up the side right here, creating a vent. And the vent doesn't have to be very big. You could just kind of, you could have it be about like that big, not really that big. And you're able to stick your arm out of here, kind of able to get some things done. And this allows an opportunity to feel like you're under a blanket still, even though there's a little bit of an avenue for heat to come out of here, as well as underneath your chin. Now, if you're not in a really cold situation where it's snowing, what have you, you would just simply take the zipper and zip it all the way up. Okay. Okay, and then in addition to that, you have an additional zip cord. You've got this shock cord underneath the draft collar in the front of your chin. You can pull that shut. Okay, you can cinch it shut. It's also got this additional Velcro here to kind of like maybe strap things down. You can put this in here or some keys or something and kind of attach it like that. Okay, and now you've got this draft collar around your neck that's kind of tight. So in a situation like that, it's gonna lock a lot of the heat in. The tailoring is kind of narrow between about at the shoulder, at about your elbows and your hips, causing a lot of the heat to get locked in here. with the draft collar shut, that heat's gonna get trapped in here around your chest. Also, the draft collar kind of adds to the feeling of having a pillow behind your head here. And then if you cinch this shut, you know, one of the disadvantages of this is that you feel this cordage against your forehead. So you've got a lot of fill behind your head and not as much fill around the face, okay? So up by your face, this doesn't really have a lot of down in it, but you've got a lot of down around the back of your head and around your neck here, shoulders, etc. The Western Mountaineering Ultra Lightweight weighs 2 pounds, and that's with 2 ounces of down added to it. So I ordered, when I bought this from Western Mountaineering, I ordered the Ultra Lightweight 20, plus I also ordered an extra fill of 2 ounces of down to be added to it. So the taxes on the Western Mountaineering sleeping bag were $60, and the extra 2 ounces of down were $40. So whatever the price tag is for the Western Mountaineering Ultra Lightweight 20, just add $100 to that, basically, is the price. And then over here, I've got the Phantom now. The Phantom 15 and the Ultra Lightweight 20 from Western Mountaineering, the Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag and the Western Mountaineering sleeping bag, they're both the same length. They're both 7 feet. Western Mountaineering claims that this one is 6.5 feet, and Mountain Hardwear claims that this one is 7 feet, all right? But when I measured the two, they both came out to about the same length. With the Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag, you feel like you have a lot of extra wiggle room in the foot box. It does feel like 7 feet. Whereas with the Western Mountaineering bag, they claim it's 6.5 feet. And by making that claim, basically they're able to cause the internal real estate inside the sleeping bag to be less than the outside shell. So the liner is a smaller cocoon shape than the shell. And what that does is it prevents you from pressing against the walls of the sleeping bag and compressing the down, allowing it to stay really warm, because your room inside, your wiggle room inside is less than the actual, you know, the surface area of the sleeping bag. So the down has a space, the down has its own kind of real estate in there to expand in, to loft up in, and it helps you stay warm. So, you know, over here we've got a 7-foot bag, it weighs 2 pounds. Over here we've got a 7-foot bag, it weighs 1 kilogram, which is 3 ounces heavier than the Western Mountaineering. So the Western Mountaineering, even with 2 ounces of extra down added to it, it's 3 ounces lighter. So normally it would be about 5 ounces lighter. 8 ounces is a half a pound, so it's almost a half a pound lighter.